NBC, the 1996 NBA playoffs.
We welcome you to the Gund Arena, Cleveland, Ohio, for the start of NBC's coverage of the NBA playoffs. And we're getting set for...
Charles Oakley doesn't think much of it. You get the mask on. Oakley, 17 in the game. Pull-up jumper says the mask don't bother me none. Derek Hoppe with the drive. Michael Cage says, get out of here with that. What is it? You bring that into my house? You don't do it at all. And then it's coast to coast for Terrell Brandon. And the Cavaliers managed to tie the game 14-14. Jeff Van Gundy said, hey, shoot the ball. That's the side to shoot the three. Patrick Ewing says, I can shoot the three. And he does it. He makes it. Good for the Knicks. And they start bombing away. Charles Oakley says, I told you the mask don't bother me none. Good from long.
But here come the Cavs. Dan Marley, the hook, 23 points for him off the bench. They're down just 2. And then in the fourth, the Knicks lighting it up. Ewing to Starks, and a combination so nice, they tried it twice. Ewing to Starks, and now Ewing, an equal opportunity passer, hitting Charlie Ward for 3. Knicks up 9 with 6 minutes to go, and they did not look back. Starks along the baseline, very good. He had 21, a 20-0 fourth quarter run, and Spike never misses a game, does he? Knicks, they win it by 23. They set a new team record with, get this, 17 three-pointers in the contest. Hubert Davis.
Game 2 of the best of 5 between the New York Knicks and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Hi, everybody. I'm Marv Albert along with Matt Gukas, and you look back to game number 1 here on Thursday night, Matt, the magic numbers, 17 for 22. The Knicks an extraordinary 17 for 22 from three-point range. That was a franchise record for three-pointers and second most in the history of the NBA playoffs.
Well, that three-point shooting was clearly the difference in game 1. And look at the difference between the Knicks inside the arc, just 40%, and the amazing 17 for 22 from long distance. Led by John Starks, knocking down 6 of 9, and Hubert Davis, number 3 in the league, hitting 5 out of 6.
Ewing had it knocked away. And here's Brandon on a breakaway. Scoring first. Now remember, Thursday night, the Knicks opened up by missing their first 8 shots, and then were able to turn it around, particularly in the second half. Starks for 3. So the Knicks have now hit their last 9 from downtown.
And that certainly was not a wide open look by John Starks. Bobby Phills was right in his face, but John Starks might be in that groove.
Illegal defense, facing the double team.
Oh, block this!
Unable to hit the reverse. Mason with another opportunity. Anthony Mason off to the fast start. He has 8 points, and the Cavaliers lead 19-11. Anthony Mason had a solid all-around game in game 1. Not necessarily in the scoring column, 10 points, but 7 rebounds, 7 assists. Brandon, we are just under 2 minutes to go in this first quarter. Harper off the good look from Starks.
A terrific transition play for the Knicks, which they don't normally get involved in. But Harper, not handling the ball, the normal point guard, went into a deep post position against the smaller Terrell Brandon and held him on his back.
Ferry with the pick. And Brandon picked off by Starks. 3-on-2. Harper gives it back. Ewing with the slam. Beautifully executed fast break by the Knicks, and they are within 4.
Well, that's one way to get your offense going. Get some easy baskets, as they did on the Harper post-up. Easy lay-in, and here a nifty fast break for the Knicks. Instead of having to always rely on half-court basketball, which is what the Cavaliers want everybody they play against to get involved in.
Well, Phil's forced into a bad shot and then blocked by Ewing, but Cage able to deflect. Now Starks trying to catch the Cavaliers on the transition, and he does! The Cavaliers did not get back.
I think Mike Fratello thought he had his ball club. He's got his hands out to his team like, hey, is anybody going to get back on defense right now? They usually lull you into their tempo, that half-court game.
With an audio man's delight executing the fast break. Take a listen.
Well, Patrick Ewing finally getting something to crow about, just his first and only field goal of that first quarter, scoring not only the 23 points the other night in game 1, but Marv, all the other things that he did. Passed the ball, rebounded, blocked shots, and got his teammates involved. That's the kind of all-around game that the Knicks need to go further in the playoffs.
It counts, and the foul kills Terrell Brandon in the backcourt. Here's Brandon. And ends up colliding with one of the cameramen behind the basket. But he's all right. Mason, Anthony Mason, 5 of 7 from the field. He has 10 points.
Well, it seems that every time that Anthony gets the ball in and around the lane, the seas seem to part. Able to get the basket. He loves to use his right hand around the rim. He missed a couple of easy ones, was upset with himself, but he looks like he can get some offensive work done for New York right now.
Marley, and he was looking for a goaltend. Here's Marley for 3. Just did beat the 24.
But Patrick Ewing staying home on defense, helping out his teammates, already has a couple of blocked shots and working hard on the defensive board, although he's not been involved offensively.
Here's in the second half of the season. Bobby Phills now 2 for 7 from the field. Starks laying it off glass. Yes, and it counts. John Starks will go to the line, but first a timeout is taken. Phills called for the foul, his second.
Well, so far, Bobby Phills has done an outstanding job of keeping John Starks in check. This time, Starks making up his mind in transition, barreling to the basket, looking to complete the three-point play.
The head man, Tyrone Hill, for the Cavaliers, and they now lead 25-22. Here is Starks taking it to the basket and the foul. So here is Starks once again going to the hoop. Of course, there are two sides to that John Starks, Don Nelson story.
Always is, but look at John Starks now getting very aggressive. I think he was the most surprised player on the floor that the Cavaliers did not either show out, double team him, close.
Starks going right at Sir and his foul. And John Starks has become a problem for the Cavaliers.
Well, they weren't a problem, the Knicks, in the early going, just standing around, passing on the perimeter.
In the second quarter, Davis got the step. And Davis ends up with the ball. Hubert Davis with a good second effort. So the Knicks are now down by 1. A hustle by Crotty to keep it alive. That's stolen by Ward. Here's Ward. Charlie Ward with the steal and the breakaway basket.
Well, definitely when Terrell Brandon is on the bench, the half-court offense of the Cavaliers is going to be stagnant. It's going to struggle because the Cavaliers are so used to Terrell Brandon on the floor with the basketball and making plays.
So the Knicks with a 28-27 lead. They erase that 19-9 deficit. The Cavs jumping out early. Marley, strong move by Dan Marley, his first field goal. Cavaliers lead by 1. 5 minutes in, second quarter. Again, Starks off the ball fake. And Starks with the open shot. A 3 for John Starks, who has had a brilliant second quarter. He has 11 for the half, 8 of the 11 here in the second. It leads to a Cavalier timeout with 6:36 to go. In the first half, it's the Knicks 31 and the Cavaliers 29. See here this afternoon. Bobby Phills, though, is back, as is Terrell Brandon. Shot clock at 5. Down to 3. Here's Ward, got it off and hit. Bailing out the Knicks at the end of the possession.
Well, Mark, this is sometimes when you're a little bit leery of playing rookies in playoff games, even though Charlie Ward is not a rookie, just in his second year, but hardly playing at all last year, showing a lot of poise there with the shot clock winding down.
Here's Phills. The tip missed by Hill. Hill able to retrieve. Oh, Tyrone Hill has come up big in the second quarter. That's his 4th field goal. And the game is tied at 33. Mason trying to go glass. Open shot for Starks. That was a 3-point attempt. The Knicks are on every loose ball. Herb Williams will go to the line.
the defense of both teams has been so aggressive that they're actually overreacting to plays, and it's creating offensive openings.
Starks for three. John Starks with 4 is tied at 37. 3:20 to go in this first half. Nice lead. Mason from Ward. Johnny Ward started the season playing well. Got the playing time after, as you mentioned, did not see much time last year with Pat Riley as head coach of the Knicks.
I did not know that.
2:45 remaining in this first half, and the Knicks are up by 2. Here's Charles Oakley, who just checked back in, and Charles Oakley, who came out gunning the other night after sitting out the last 6 games of the regular season with the eye injury, has had the touch. That's his second field goal. He's 2 of 3 from the field. The Knicks by 4. Ferry off the mark, rebounded by Ewing, and Jeff Van Gundy staying with Charlie Ward and Hubert Davis in the backcourt. The hot John Starks sitting down. And Ewing in the post position. Here is Davis. Yes. And the excellent Knick three-point shooting has continued.
And Mike Fratello wants to settle things down here with a 20-second timeout. He senses the same mistakes Cleveland was making. Rotations, not good communication, having 2 players run at the same offensive player. But on the first one, Charles Oakley getting opened in the deep left corner, and Mike Fratello very upset with Danny Ferry not getting out on time, because you have to respect Charles Oakley's ability to shoot from the perimeter, as John Starks playing cheerleader on the bench. And then the mistake of Mills and Phils coming both to try to challenge that shot, as that left Hubert Davis the fast break opportunities in that first half at getting to the basket. Once he gets in there, there's really nobody to stop him as far as a shot blocking presence.
Patrick Ewing showing the stroke. That's his second field goal. And the Knicks now lead 46-41. Prior to the Cavalier victory over the Knicks, I should say the Knick victory over the Cavaliers here on Thursday, this has been a series of home court disadvantage. Phils watched by Oakley, Mills, and back comes Starks. He tried to connect with Mason.
Well, John Starks, I think, fooled Mason there. Looked like John, who is really feeling it right now, was going to raise up and launch a jump shot. Mason was starting to get to the offensive boards, but that's what happens when you leave your feet to make a pass. You fool your teammates.
Found himself open. 3 on the shot clock. Cage blocked by Ewing. It's a 24-second violation.
Well, the Cavaliers just have no...
They double up on Ewing. Oakley. Air ball. As Brandon hit the deck. 3-point Knick lead. Mason in a battle with Mills. Tosses it back to Oakley. Charles Oakley with his 3rd field goal. He has 6 points. It's the Knicks 48, the Cavaliers 43.
And Charles really doesn't seem to have a problem with shooting from the mask. However, the shot before, he put up an air ball, but not discouraged on the next catch. Just let it fly.
The Knick lead is 1. 4 minutes gone by in the 3rd. Oakley to the drive. Mason with the rebound. Anthony Mason with 14 points. And the Knicks are up by 3. Brandon protecting against Harper. There's the change of pace move by Brandon that draws the foul.
The ball is going to move faster than your feet.
Well, Ferry got the step, but Ewing with the rejection leading to this. Patrick Ewing with another block, his 3rd, and that leads to a Cavalier timeout. So, shooting ball club. The Knicks now lead 57-53. Ewing, beautifully done. Starks finding Ewing. Cade. So John Crotty is operating at the point guard position. Marley posting up Starks. Starks goes down and draws the foul.
John Starks
Getting it back out. Harper. And Oakley. Oh, what a pass on the save as Oakley ends up in the first row. Renewing acquaintances with some of his friends from Cleveland. He is a native of the city. Knicks lead 62-56. And offensive play has disrupted the Cavaliers. Ewing opening up this fourth quarter. He now has 10 points, and the Knicks lead 62. Anthony Mason with his 9th rebound. Knicks have Hubert Davis back. He and Harper and Starks in a 3-guard alignment. Harper saw the opening, but then gave it back. Here is Ewing. Yes. And Patrick Ewing has come alive offensively. The Knicks now lead 66-61. Shot clock down to 7. Terrell Brandon knocked away and fouled. Foul committed by Derek Harper. That is his 3rd.
Well, terrific defense by the Knicks, stopping the initial play, winding down. This is where Terrell Brandon earns his money for the Cavaliers. Under 3 or 4 seconds to go on the shot clock, he can usually turn up a good shot. Dirk not happy at all with that call. He thought he got all basketball.
And Brandon took
just his 3rd turnover. He's got 9 assists. 3 turnovers is a lot for Terrell Brandon, but he took his eye off the pass receiver. He wanted to go inside.
Nice look. Ewing finding Mason. And Mason will go to the line. And the Cavaliers 65. Davis for 3. Yes. Hubert Davis, who hit 5 from downtown the other night. That angered Mike Fratello. He felt perhaps that Hubert had too much room. The Knicks extend to a 72-65 lead. Yes, he did. Marley reacting a bit late. 6:43 to go. Fourth quarter. Will be back in a moment.
Perimeter shooters.
Now Mason got the step and hits on the reverse. You know, Anthony Mason is pitching a complete game here. Just unbelievable performance. 10 of 15 from the field. He has 10 rebounds, 4 assists, 22 points in all. 6-point Knick lead. Shot clock down to 6. Brandon had to force it. Terrell Brandon now 17 points and showing some signs here in the fourth quarter. The Knick lead is now 74-70. Starks rejected, tied up by Marley. What a play by Dan Marley.
And Anthony Mason barking at John Starks, saying, keep the ball moving. When we get it moving, we're getting good shots. He felt that John Starks tried to force the action a little too much in here. First, Brandon got a piece to just make Starks hesitate ever so slightly, and then Marley coming in with a block shot in the tie-up.
Matt, John Starks had the terrific second quarter. He had 11 of his 14 in the second quarter, has not scored since then. Harper is back, as is Ewing. Ferry for 3. The Knicks 74, the Cavaliers 70, with 4:15 to go, fourth quarter. They double up on Mason. Harper, the open man, for 3. Ferry with the rebound, and a loose ball foul against Cleveland. And it is on Ferry. That is his 4th.
That's what Anthony Mason is talking about. Why would we run any other play but give me the ball inside? I'm going to draw a double team. And then
John Paxson, a tremendous playoff performer over the years for the championship Chicago Bulls. Now an assistant coach, Patrick Ewing, with 14 points. And the Knicks extend to a 76-70 lead with 3:45 to go in the fourth.
that fronting tactic not really working for Cleveland, as the Knicks patiently waiting for just the right time to deliver that pass over the top to Patrick Ewing.
And here is Ferry. Annie Ferry cuts it to a 76-72 Knick lead.
Tough rotation for Patrick Ewing going out on a shooter like Danny Ferry. Patrick took him off his first look, but then Danny Ferry had the wherewithal to keep possession and improve his position for a better shot.
Both teams have 4 team fouls. The next one puts them over the limit. Oakley, Charles Oakley. He has 8 points. Timeouts remaining. Knicks with 3. Cleveland with 2 and a 20. Knicks have a 6-point lead with just under 3 minutes remaining in the fourth. Marley from 3-point territory. Yes! Oh, that's a huge shot. And Marley hits the 3, and it brings the Cavaliers within 3 points. Marley now 3 of 9 from downtown. A big defensive play by Marley. Knocked it off Starks, and the Cavaliers gain possession.
Now, Dan Marley, good defender. He's actually going to bump Starks on the left shoulder there from behind. Just an aggressive play, and he's rewarded for it. Got away with the little push.
Brandon lost the dribble as Oakley stepped between the screen, and the Knicks take over on the turnover.
Well, that's preparation. The Knicks know that Terrell Brandon loves to split on that high pick-and-roll play. They're ready for it.
But the Knicks give it right back. That's their 18th turnover. We come up on 2 minutes to go. In the fourth quarter, Cavaliers with the ball down by 3. Ferry for 3 to tie it. And Mason with the rebound.
This is a pick-and-roll, pick-and-pop clinic. If you like two-man basketball, you've come to the right place. These teams really milk that play to death.
In New York at Madison Square Garden. Ewing, Patrick Ewing, turning it up offensively in the second half. 16 points for Ewing, who has done it at the defensive end in a big way. The Knicks now lead 80-75. A minute and a half to go fourth quarter. Nice pass. 3 and a 72% free throw shooter.
Well, all of the two-man play situations involving Terrell Brandon, the Knicks have done a terrific job. They did one there to make Terrell pick up his dribble, or at least make him hesitate and use up more clock than he wanted to, and that's a key anytime you're playing the Cleveland Cavaliers, because Terrell Brandon controls the situation so much.
Look at that stat line. Anthony Mason with a magnificent all-around performance. And that will do it. The Knicks go up 2-0 in this best-of-5. Only 5 times in a best-of-5 game series has a team come back from 0-2. The last time was Denver against Seattle back in 1994. Let's go to Ahmad Rashad with one of the Knick heroes, Patrick Ewing. Ahmad?
All right, Patrick, only 16 points on the offensive end, but more impressively was your defensive work. You were altering shots, block shots. You look like your old days back at Georgetown.
Well, they would double team me as soon as I got the ball today. They made an adjustment. Last game, they was waiting a little bit, but today they came quick, and I had to make adjustments. But I just had to do other things. I had to block shots, try to get rebounds, and just do it, whatever it took to help the team to win.
All right, good luck to you on Wednesday.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Back to you, Marv.
All right, Ahmad. So again, the final, the Knicks 84, the Cavaliers 80. The Knicks are up 2-0. Marv Albert, Matt Gukas, and Ahmad Rashad saying so long from Cleveland now to the Great Western Forum for Game 2 of our NBA on NBC.
Against the world? I mean, is that something the team does thrive on?
No question. You know, like you said, people have been written us off all year long, saying that, you know, we're too old, that we don't have the stamina to, you know, last throughout the season. But we understand, like I've been saying all along, what it takes in order to win. And we're not concerned with what our critics say. We believe in ourselves. That's the most important thing.
In January, after a loss to the Sonics, you said what haunts the Knicks is that they're too accepting of mediocrity. Do you still feel that way?
No. I think, you know, we're getting back to that old way of Knicks style of playing. You know, we're playing aggressive. We're moving up and down the court on both ends of the court, executing. And you have to do that in the playoffs. We know that there's not going to be any easy buckets that you're going to get. So you have to be able to execute in order to make things happen out there.
You've had a lot to do with that, averaging 7 assists in the first 2 games, over 18 points. What have you done differently in these playoffs or at this time of the year?
Well, I'm trying to shoot the ball a lot better. You know, I've been working all season long trying to get back to shooting the ball very comfortably, and I think I'm at that point right now. Now I have people running at me. Now it's opened up a lot of things for me. I can get in the lane and penetrate and create and do things for my teammates.
What makes John Starks shoot the ball better? What is it?
Well, just my legs. That's the most important thing. I think at the beginning of the season, I really didn't have the leg strength that I have right now. You know, I've been working all season long to try to get back to that leg strength, because I know once I'm shooting the ball well, that once I go to the bucket, I have to be able to go over people. So it helps to have that leg strength underneath you.
And it's important to the team. Now, Patrick Ewing says there's no doubt in his mind that the Knicks are a championship team. Some people think that may be stretching it. Do you honestly have any doubts yourself?
We don't have any doubts that we can win the championship. If we go out there and execute and play the way we're capable of playing and stay focused on what we want to do out there on the court, we can do whatever we want to do. We have just as much talent as any other teams in the league, especially during this playoffs. So all we have to do is just stay focused and go out there and play our ball game.
Now, for the first time in a while, no lofty expectations for the Knicks coming in. In fact, most predicted a first-round loss. Does this team, do you play better without having to carry that kind of burden?
I think so. You know, I always said I'm probably glad that we started on the road, because we know if we're going to win a championship, that we're going to have to win on the road. So to start the playoffs on the road, I think is good, because it gives us a lot of confidence knowing that we can go into our opponent's arena and win ball games. Coming back home, we have to secure the home court advantage when we're at home and not give up games.
And the Knicks holding the 2-0 lead in the best-of-5 series with the Cavs, a team that won 3 out of 4 against you in the regular season. So what specifically is the team doing right now that they were doing wrong before?
Against this team, you have to come with a lot of energy, and you have to jump on this team early. If you let them get ahead of you, then they're going to dictate how you play. So that's to their advantage. It's to our advantage to get out to a good start and make them to play our brand of basketball.
And Terrell Brandon said before the series that the Cavs wanted the Knicks. Did that comment add to the intensity a little bit?
Well, when you make that comment, you know, you have to be able to back it up. So we know there's a lot of teams that said that in the past, and they never backed it up. It adds to the motivational factor for us to go out there and play our best basketball. We know that we can beat this team. All we had to do is just come with a lot of energy and be ready to play against them.
So you heard that comment, right? The teammates, you discussed it, you were aware of it?
Yeah, we was very aware of it.
All right, on the eve of Game 1, Jeff Van Gundy, the head coach, took a phone call from Pat Riley, former Knicks coach. Did Jeff ever talk to the team about that conversation, what was said?
No, he didn't. I need to ask Jeff about that.
Well, what do you think was said? Do you think Pat Riley gave him advice? We understand that he suggested that don't spend as much time on the game tapes, but spend time being closer to the players and getting in their heads, getting them ready for the postseason.
And that's what he'd have done. I guess that comment probably served him well. Jeff understands the game. You know, he's the type of coach that he's been schooled under some great coaches, and he understands what it takes in order to win. He prepares us very well before the game, so when we come in the game, we're not surprised by anything. We just go out there and just be able to play freely and understanding exactly what we do out there on the court, that it's going to happen for us, and not take anything to chance, leave anything to chance.
And Van Gundy says that in order for this team to get back to the final, they have to play with great emotion. They have to find their passion. How often does this team struggle with that, and why?
Well, I think sometimes we get too relaxed, and we don't come out with the emotional impact that we had to have. I think this team was built on emotion, so I try my best to, you know, be as emotional as possible, especially during these playoffs. You have to have a lot of energy, because it's a long, grueling series. You're playing one team, maybe 3 or 4 or 5 ball games, so you have to be able to come out there with a lot of emotion and a lot of intensity.
Yeah, when Don Nelson was forced out, he said that Patrick Ewing was physically no longer able to carry this team. To what extent, in your opinion, John, is that true?
That's not true at all. Patrick is still the leader of this team, and he can still carry this team on his shoulders. But he understands that he had to have 4 other guys out there on the court that's going to help him do it. You know, one man can't beat a whole team by itself. So I think Patrick have learned that he's trusting in us a little bit more. So he's doing a great job of moving the basketball and letting us create and helping them out.
All right, we're talking with John Starks. He talked about playing with emotion. We'll address his emotional play when we continue. He's in New York. We're in Los Angeles. You know where you are, one of the more popular athletes in New York. John Starks is up close with us. We'll be back in a moment. Don't go away.
Not let anything distract you from achieving your goals. I think that's the most important thing that I had on my side.
And a very intense emotional player. In fact, you even hear things like a very intense competitor, a ticking time bomb we've heard when your name is mentioned. Do you play sometimes out of control?
I didn't learn over the years to control my emotions. Some of my teammates, they're more out of control than I am, and they wonder why I'm keeping my head, because I have learned over the years to keep your head in situations when the pressure is on. Just try to calm yourself down and stay focused.
Yeah, because in '93, ejected in that series against the Bulls back in Game 3 in '94 after a loss to the Nets, there was the incident with the referee Mike Mathis. To what do you attribute your what seemed like a combative nature that we saw, and how have you been able to harness that without your game suffering?
Well, just being a competitive person and just wanting to win so bad that you stop at nothing. And you know, sometimes it gets me in trouble, but I like having that edge on my side. So I just learned over the year, matured as a player, and try to read situations a lot different now.
Does your success rely on playing with that much emotion?
It does, because it helps fuel me as well as my teammates. So I learned to turn that negative energy into a positive energy where it's going to help me as well as my teammates.
When you happen to catch some of your behavior on the replays or when you see it on television, what's your reaction?
I laugh. I laugh at it. I have a 8-year-old son who sit down and say, "Dad, why you do that?" And I just have to say that's the way I play, and hope that he understands that. So it's funny to me, but I understand that I can't be doing that out there on the court, because it more so than not, it's going to hurt the team.
Yeah, and in April, you officiated a boys basketball league game at the YMCA in New York, something that you frequently do in the off-season. Why do you do that?
Well, it's you getting it from a different perspective, the game, and so you can understand how the referees or what they're going through, even though that's not a pressure situation that I was in, you know, refereeing the basketball game. You understand exactly what the referees are going through out there. But I have a lot of fun with it, and I enjoy being among young people and watching them play and watching them try to create some of the moves that you do out there on the court.
Yeah, and how would you call a game that John Starks was playing in?
Excellent. I let them play. I let them play. There's no fouls. I try not to get involved. I try to, you know, let them handle their business out there on the court and try to be as visible as possible. I wish that was like that in the NBA.
Would you be a little leery, though, of his reputation if you were the official and he came on the floor to play?
Yes. You know, but that's part of it, though. You know, the game of basketball is fun, and you should be able to go out there and laugh about things and just enjoy yourself.
All right, we're talking with John Starks. He's in New York. We'll be back in a moment. Up close from Los Angeles, we'll talk about Don Nelson's departure, an extra incentive to get back to the finals for Starks. Remember, we had the big Game 6, but that dismal 2 for 18 shooting performance in Game 7 when the Rockets defeated the Knicks when Pat Riley was the head coach. We'll be back in a moment. With a 2-0 lead for New York, and it's been a tumultuous year, John, in New York. You've described playing, let's go back to Don Nelson, as a nightmare. Specifically, if you can reflect on that, what was so horrible about that time?
Well, I think more so that we wasn't coming out and playing the way we normally play. You know, we used to play an aggressive style of basketball, and we wasn't playing that under Coach Nelson. We needed to get back to that. You know, for me personally, I don't think I was putting out like I'm capable of putting out under Coach Nelson. So it was more so head games than anything else.
And Nelson admitted that he tried to trade you to San Antonio as part of the Charles Smith deal and went on record saying that Hubert Davis is a better player than you are. You think his differences with you were personal? Did you feel that way?
I felt it was personal. I think it was going back to the Golden State days. When I left there, it wasn't really on good terms. So, that's his opinion. And everybody has an opinion. And if he felt that, then,
Yeah, because it's something most people probably did not know. Your rookie season with Golden State, Don Nelson releases you after 36 games, telling you that you weren't good enough at that time. So you think things were doomed from the beginning because of that pre-existing relationship? I mean, when he arrived in New York, did you think, uh-oh, here we go?
No, I tried to come in with a positive attitude. I felt that he was going to be good for the team and not try to think about what happened in the past and try to stay focused on the future. So it just didn't happen. It just didn't happen, and we needed to make a change, and you had to give the organization a lot of credit. They stepped up and made a change when we had to, and now we're looking for a brighter future right now.
Yeah, and the core of this Knicks team has been together for over 5 years. Difficult to break habit. With that in mind, do you think that the team is or was somewhat stubborn to accept Nelson's disciplinary style, or is this team just plain stubborn? Would you say that?
I don't think he was a disciplinary. I think more so he's more a freelance type of coach, and we're more of a disciplinary team where we knew exactly going into the game what we're going to do, and we wasn't prepared. And I don't know why, but to me, I don't think he was enthused about coming to this team and trying to change our mental aspect of it, but it wasn't getting it done, so it may have something to do with that we was locked into Coach Riley's system for 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, and this team went to the championship, right? Was within a game of winning it under Pat Riley. You're further away now, would you admit, than you were with Pat Riley as the head coach in terms of winning a championship?
I don't think we're further away. I think we just have to continue to build on what Coach Riley left here, and Jeff has brought that style of basketball back to us. It's something that we're used to. It's something that players accept a little bit better, more so than a freelance brand of basketball, which is going to help us.
Yeah, and you mentioned Jeff Van Gundy hasn't been offered a deal for next season. Your view, you have a vote, should he be back?
Oh, he should be back, no question about it. He should be considered for the job. Jeff is the type of coach who's been schooled under some great coaches, and he understands exactly what the game is all about. He prepares you well. He makes sure that you come in the game prepared to play the game as hard as possible. He leaves nothing to chance, and that's something that Coach Riley used to do. So he understands the game very well. His X's and O's are wonderful. In tight situations, he's not down there fumbling about should I run this play or should I run that play. He knows exactly what he wants to do.
Yeah, and in our last moment here, with the average age of the starting five, 32 years old, has the core of this team come to grips, John, that the fact that just a championship may not happen with this particular group? Do you worry about that?
We don't worry about it. We understand that we have to get the job done, and the core players that's been here for 4 or 5 years understand what it takes in order to win, and we're excited about what's ahead for us in these playoffs. We come prepared to play every night and come ready to do the job that we're capable of doing. Then we should win ball games.
All right, so far it's been working, and you've been working it well, John. Thanks for joining us via satellite from New York. Good luck on Wednesday night against the Cavaliers and through the rest of the playoffs.
All right, thanks a lot, Chris.
All right, take